By far, the most common questions for week 4 that I had in the survey online had to do with the midterm for obvious reasons. Hopefully, most of the questions have been answered by the practice midterm that we put at the very top of POLS1005's Waddle page. But I'd like to go through and answer quickly some of the questions you might have here. We also had at least 9 study sessions in week 5. And I know that they were all sold out, so hopefully a lot of you have been able to have these questions answered. But I would say the main source of answers for your questions would be in the slides for week 4 at the end. In week 5, I also touched on some of the answers, but yeah, most of them are on 4 and in the practice midterm at the very top of the Waddle page. First answer to will next week's content be part of the midterm? No, it is an exam that focuses on weeks 1 through 5. So week 6, you will still have the online quiz that you have until Friday to complete, but the midterm is on weeks 1 through 5's material. Week 6's material will be testable for the final exam. The structure, answers as to what the structure of the midterm is summarized in the document at the top of the Waddle page. Practice exam, that is basically a practice exam that includes the cover page from the actual exam as well as the actual instructions for the 3 sections of the exam, so you see how much each section is worth and what the type of questions are for each one of the sections. What depth of knowledge about World War I do we need? I would say that the material in Chapter 1 should be more than enough for any specific questions that we might have for the exam. For the essay, as well as potentially for the short answers, having knowledge of a particular case and how it ties to the literature in the class would be useful in the sense that you can use World War I as a case study or as an example of a lot of the different material that we've covered so far in this class. Testing related to the bargaining range graphics that are quite extensive in the textbook. I think they're useful in trying to understand the nature of bargaining between 2 states that might not have interests that overlap substantially, but that there is some kind of bargaining range, and the variation in what that bargaining range looks like when different factors are taken into account, including alliances for the most recent week 5's readings. So I think they're meant to illustrate the basic concepts, but there isn't going to be a question on the exam that includes a graphic like that you have to interpret. They're there as a heuristic, as a way to visualize the types of disagreements or bargaining ranges that states have in international conflict. So those are the basic questions that we had about the midterm. The next videos will be talking about specific non-midterm questions.